So there are people who claim they have seen or have even been inside a UFO craft. And you probably have heard of a description that stands out, one where there are no glowing control panels, no switches, no levers, no navigation systems, no cockpit in the way we understand it. But there is something in that description that I think many people overlook: a single chair. And what's funny is that many of these accounts that are told by different people across different decades repeat this exact detail with strange consistency, as if they all encountered the same design. Now imagine that: a dimly lit craft interior with smooth, seamless walls and one or more chairs in the center. Then think about this: the Montauk Chair, surrounded by wires and machinery. If you don't know what the Montauk Chair is, as the legend goes, it was built with the idea of amplifying the human mind. Then I want you to think about this: ancient stone carvings, golden thrones, sacred seats raised above the ground that are reserved for gods or those who are believed to have special abilities. I mean, these are completely different eras, completely different contexts, but there exists the same idea: a seat tied to power. In some advanced flying craft, that might seem futuristic, but what if it's ancient? What if advanced civilizations, long before modern technology, already understood something we're only beginning to understand? That the human mind can act as an interface. That certain chairs, certain positions, were used as points of connection. Let's talk about it, because when we question how some things would work, UFO craft, portals, time machines, materializing our thoughts in the real world, the answer: maybe we're sitting on it. So we are already publicly starting to really develop this technology, folks. The brain-computer interface, right? Right now, it's in its early stages, but this technology allows humans to move cursors, control robotic limbs, interact with digital systems using nothing but neural signals. Nothing you have to put your hands on. And what's crazy is that this is not a new idea. And I've touched on this before, that something like a UFO craft is actually something you possess instead of fly. You see, the craft would be inhabited, like an extension of the mind. I mean, if you could create technology like that, why wouldn't you? So in the case of UFO craft, the pilot is the control system. So the Montauk Project, right? That story was exposed to the public through the book The Montauk Project, Experiments in Time, which claims that beneath the surface of Camp Hero, researchers were working on several forms of secret, forbidden technology because the idea of it was weird. It was unethical and way too powerful. But you don't really hear too much about the Montauk Chair, right? So this is a device that is said to amplify the human mind. It functioned as a kind of psychic amplifier. When someone sat in it, and they would tend to use children for this, people with heightened mental or intuitive abilities those abilities were projected or enhanced, and in some accounts they were able to materialize objects or creatures. We're talking about thoughts becoming tangible, imagination crossing into physical reality. And that same chair was used in experiments involving time travel, opening portals, bending sequences, creating access points beyond linear time. MKUltra, which was a confirmed CIA initiative, explored mind control, altered states of consciousness, and psychological manipulation. I don't know if that had anything to do with the Montauk Chair, but it is proof that governments were, at the very least, willing to explore the boundaries of the human mind in ways that were hidden from the public. Think about it. It's perfect. A chair could make contact and connect to your body from head to toe. So now that you have the basic concept in your head, what about thrones? In so many ancient stories, thrones are described like interfaces between the human and the divine. Folks, what was the Ark of the Covenant sometimes described as? It was described as a focal point of divine presence. And the place between the cherubim on its lid was known as what? The mercy seat, a spot where something beyond the physical world dwells or manifests. It had to be approached with extreme caution, right? Or you could die. Those who possessed it basically got whatever they wanted, as long as they obeyed God's commandments, right? Again, in the book of Ezekiel, where Ezekiel describes a throne-like structure suspended above wheels within wheels. I mean, listen to this. As I looked at the living creatures, I saw a wheel on the ground beside each creature with its 4 faces. This was the appearance and structure of the wheels. They sparkled like topaz, and all 4 looked alike. Each appeared to be made like a wheel intersecting a wheel. As they moved, they would go in any one of the 4 directions the creatures faced. The wheels did not change direction as the creatures went. Their rims were high and awesome, and all 4 rims were full of eyes all around. What is he talking about? Something with 4 wheels with rims? And on the rims there were what sounds like lights, not actual eyeballs. When the living creatures moved, the wheels beside them moved. And when the living creatures rose from the ground, the wheels also rose. Wherever the spirit would go, they would go, and the wheels would rise along with them, because the spirit of the living creatures was in the wheels. When the creatures moved, they also moved. When the creatures stood still, they also stood still. And when the creatures rose from the ground, the wheels rose along with them, because the spirit of the living creatures was in the wheels. So, these creatures were somehow connected to this thing. Spread out above the heads of the living creatures was what looked like something like a vault, sparkling like crystal and awesome. So that right there sounds like a glass dome above their heads. Under the vault, their wings were stretched out one toward the other, and each had 2 wings covering its body. When the creatures moved, I heard the sound of their wings, like the roar of rushing waters, like the voice of the Almighty, like the tumult of an army. When they stood still, they lowered their wings. Now, what does that sound like? Maybe a multi-rotor aircraft? Propellers, maybe? Then there came a voice from above the vault over their heads as they stood with lowered wings. Above the vault over their heads was what looked like a throne of lapis lazuli, and high above on the throne was a figure like that of a man. I saw that from what appeared to be his waist up, he looked like glowing metal, as if full of fire, and that from there down he looked like fire, and brilliant light surrounded him, like the appearance of a rainbow in the clouds on a rainy day. So was the radiance around him. I mean, you could interpret that in several ways. What I want you to not overlook in that example is the throne. Again, in the Ramayana, there's the Vimana. Some descriptions include interior spaces that resemble structured seating or command positions, almost like throne-like control seats embedded within aerial vehicles. The seat seems to be the point of control, and the relationship between the occupant and the craft is intimate. And in both examples, the implication is that the operator interfaces directly with the vessel itself. Stories of Zeus or Enlil, thrones represented a fixed point of control over forces, weather, fate, order, destruction, right? Sitting upon the throne was like exerting influence over reality. Lightning, storms, judgment, and cosmic order are all issued from a seated position of authority, a command interface. Now, according to the legends surrounding the Montauk Chair, it was a device that amplified the human mind into a kind of reality-shaping instrument. The stories claim that a person, usually someone with strong psychic ability, would sit in this chair connected to electronic equipment designed to interface with their brain waves. Once it was activated, the machine would take the individual's thoughts, emotions, or mental images and project them outward, making them manifest in physical reality. So the chair acted more like an amplifier. The effectiveness of the chair depended on the mental state of the person using it. Clear, focused thoughts could produce controlled results, but fear or instability could lead to chaotic or dangerous manifestations. Some versions of the legend claim that users could create objects, open portals, alter time perception. Children were used because they were believed to have stronger or more flexible psychic abilities than adults. The idea was that younger minds were less conditioned by reality, making them more open to imagination, suggestion, or altered states of consciousness. In other words, children were said to be better operators, able to produce clearer or more powerful mental projections. But of course, they were subjected to intense psychological conditioning or training. It was a way to force them to focus their thoughts and suppress fear. This is where the Stranger Things series comes from. From what I understand, it was originally supposed to be called Montauk or something like that. There are stories that children were exposed to staged scenarios or stress in order to shape how their minds responded under pressure, trying to program their reactions. It's something how like dreams operate when we sleep. The dream is actually training you. It keeps showing you different visuals or keeps putting you in different scenarios until you have a strong emotional reaction to them. Now, when they get to the part about time perception, teleportation, or dimensional travel, that's where things like entities being manifested start to happen. The Book of Enoch, where the concept of forbidden knowledge is central, in that text, the Watchers descend and transmit information to humanity that is described as both enlightening and corrupting. knowledge of structures, forces, or systems that could be looked at as advanced technology or as spiritual systems. When you bring all these things together, modern secret experiments, unexplained aerial phenomena, ancient descriptions of thrones that seem to function more like interfaces than symbols, you can see the Montauk Chair is really an attempt to recreate something very ancient. Anyway, that's going to be all for now, folks, and there is more to come very soon. Please click the thumbs up button and like this video. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Everyone have a great day or evening, and until next time, stay awake, stay aware, stay safe, and I'll talk to you all soon. Since the dawn of time, shadows have followed us. Questions without answers. Legends without end. Whispers speak of worlds hidden from sight. Truths buried in myth, carved in stone, and locked away in secret text and hidden vaults. Across every culture, every age, fragments remain. Clues to something vast, something forbidden, something waiting. This is Legends Mystery Masterclass. Here, we walk beyond the veil of ordinary understanding into ancient enigmas, forgotten corridors, and the secrets humanity was never meant to uncover. Prepare yourself. The mystery begins now.